Good afternoon. Thanks so much for the opportunity to speak with you today. I'm glad to discuss automated vehicles, also called AV or Advanced Ground Vehicle Technologies, AGVT, for airside operations. This is the topic of an ACRP research project and is detailed in ACRP Report 219. The objective of this project was to identify and evaluate different AV applications in the airside environment. Today I will present some example applications and lessons learned, and I'll provide an overview of the evaluation process and the applications that were prioritized for airside use. Finally, I'll wrap it up with some key thoughts as well as some additional resources. This chart shows the SAE automation levels. There are 6 different levels of autonomy ranging from no automation at level 0 up to level 5, which is full automation. And we really are not at full automation in a true environment now. No one can do full automation in every situation, which is level 5. We have quite a bit going on at level 3, which is conditional automation, such as an automated vehicle with an active safety driver who takes over when the automation has trouble interpreting the environment. The safety driver may be in the vehicle or may be remote from an operations center. The SAE revised this chart this spring to include that remote assistance in driving. We had included remote operation in our project, even though it wasn't specifically in the SAE nomenclature at the time the project was done. In the airside, lower levels are very useful, and they may include things like safety assist, collision avoidance, and driver alerts. Let's take a look at what's going on in AV and other sectors. One early adopter is mining. Mining has had success and reaped benefits in terms of productivity and safety with the associated cost savings for each. Ports have also implemented automated truck operations and have realized the associated benefits. While there are certainly differences between these applications and airports, there are also some lessons to be learned. The roadway sector may be most familiar for automated vehicles. Here's a Tesla crash, and unfortunately there have been a few Tesla crashes. At the left, you can see the disengagement data that California requires vehicle manufacturers to submit each year. I think it's useful to think about what kind of AV data would be useful for an airport or the airport industry to collect and share in the spirit of ACI and other shared data. Moving on to the airport sector, both Gatwick and Heathrow have deployed automated vehicles airside in the spirit of gathering information. At Gatwick, it was an airside employee shuttle, and at Heathrow, it was for cargo data with a couple of industry partners. Changi has also deployed an automated container trailer, which is one of the many advanced technologies that has been deployed at Changi. Talking back to that deployment at Heathrow for the cargo project, in this case it was less than a month, but it did allow the airport to learn more about automated vehicles airside and with a very limited commitment. Another active area for airport AV is snowplows. Norway airports are some of the leaders in this area, and there Yeti has teamed with both the auto and high-tech sector to deploy this platoon of automated snowplows. One thing to note is that it's one thing to demonstrate a platoon of snowplows on a clear day, and another thing to demonstrate a platoon of snowplows successfully clearing snow from the runway. Once you add snow, wind, and other factors to the mix, it gets a lot more difficult. There are many different kinds of snow. The wind can quickly change direction, and so it really is an art as well as a science. Another opportunity for AV is to provide pushback for aircraft as well as move aircraft around using automated tugs and tow equipment. This can have significant benefits in terms of reduced emissions and fuel consumption, especially for airports that may have long departure queues and associated delays. TaxiBot is one option. In this case, the pilot can operate the tug from the cockpit using standard controls. So this is remote operation. And there is a safety driver in the TaxiBot who can drive the tug back to the terminal. This has been used successfully in Frankfurt as well as at airports in India. On the left is a MotoTalk system for remote aircraft movement. Now it is operated by a person, but in the future it could be operated automatically or from a central control center, and could even include the operation of multiple aircraft. Here is an AV for automated perimeter security. The version on the left is at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and they have two of these automated security vehicles. If the vehicle encounters something that's unexpected when it's doing its perimeter check, then a remote operator is notified, and that remote operator can interact via audio and visual through the automated vehicle. The vehicle can also be stationed at a single site and perform sentry duty. This is an off-the-shelf vehicle. At the right, we have an automated ATV at Edmonton Airport. This is the result of a partnership between the airport and a local vendor. Agriculture has also been active in this advanced technology automated vehicle sector. And the ag sector also has platoon capabilities, as well as automated mowers. In terms of the platoon capabilities, that is platooning between a combine and a grain trailer typically, although here you can see two tractors that are platooned and are mowing between the grapes in a vineyard. Certainly many airports have a lot of grass to cut, and that's important for wildlife management. And some airports are already using automated mowers, including airports in Norway and Sweden. In some cases, these automated mowers are also electric, which also provides some sustainability benefits. Remote mowers are also currently used on steeper grades, and they also provide a safety benefit since they remove a person from a potentially hazardous situation. In many cases, mowers and the perimeter security vehicles we saw in the previous slide are operated in remote areas of the airfield, and this certainly provides advantages as we learn more about automated vehicles. Long-term, mowers could potentially mow in the runway safety area at night when the runway is not being used by aircraft. A lot of advanced technologies are currently implemented in the airside environment, especially technologies such as safety assist and collision avoidance. These technologies may slow equipment down as it approaches the aircraft and reduce or eliminate the likelihood of aircraft damage. At the bottom of this picture, you can see automated baggage carts. These are currently being used at multiple airports. Well, it's not airside, and it is a simpler environment since it's inside and does not have a lot of aircraft or people working in the same space. There's no question that automated technologies are advancing. Switching gears, now I'd like to just touch base on the evaluation process that we developed for this project. This framework leverages existing FAA tools like the risk assessment component of SMS and the evaluation criteria. It builds on the human factors criteria that FAA has developed. The first step of the evaluation is to identify the goals of the project, which may include things like increased safety, increase efficiency, support sustainability, or even collect data about AV to gain a better understanding of airside automation. There are many possible drivers for airside AV. Once you have identified a candidate and a preliminary concept of operations, then this concept and application can be evaluated both in terms of the risk assessment And with respect to the evaluation criteria, which you can see there on the right, and include ease of adoption and stakeholder acceptance, technical feasibility, infrastructure and operational impacts, benefits, and human factors. There are likely some iterations of the project as it evolves from a preliminary concept to a refined concept of operation that can be recommended for further development and ultimately implementation. One of the applications that was evaluated in greater detail was a platoon with a driver in the lead vehicle for snow and ice control. The evaluation included an implementation scenario which was defined as an investigation, a demonstration, or full deployment. Other things considered in the evaluation include the operational area, which may include remote areas of the airport, or the ramps, or even the runway. Airport characteristics may include a category of airport, such as GA or medium hub airport, or may refer to physical characteristics or the kind of aeronautical activities that occur in an airport. For this application, airport characteristics would include airports that have moderate or greater snowfall, and perhaps labor shortages, which would make the reduced need for manpower attractive. Project partners might include private industries such as snowplow manufacturers, firms in the automobile and tech sectors, and trucking firms that have successfully implemented platooning. Key considerations include evaluation with respect to the variety of criteria, as we mentioned, benefits, technical feasibility, infrastructure and operational impacts, human factors, and stakeholder acceptance and ease of use, which includes both individual characteristics for people who would be interacting with the AV, as well as organizational considerations such as labor unions. The evaluation also identifies potential challenges, which vary depending on the application and the level of automation. The research includes evaluation for a variety of airside applications. Applications encompass both airport operations as well as ramp activities. Airport operations include pod management, mowing, perimeter security, and snow and ice control. Ramp activities include baggage carts and aircraft pushback, as well as aircraft tug and tow. The proposed technologies vary depending on the application and include safety assist, automated with the driver, and automated with no driver for applications in remote areas of the airfield. Proposed technologies also include remote and central control. In terms of some key thoughts, this report provides a good overview of automated vehicle technologies and considerations for the future. The report provides a systematic process to evaluate AV applications and a detailed evaluation for the prioritized applications. In terms of opportunities, AV is a rapidly advancing sector. Airports are a unique environment since they have a limited geographic area, and they also have very well-defined protocols for operations. Of course, in many cases, these protocols are very complex, and there are a wide variety of users and equipment, including aircraft, which is certainly high stakes. In terms of challenges, technology is still evolving, and for more advanced levels of automation, we may have limited data and not be certain about what kind of reliability we have. There are also proprietary concerns which may affect information sharing. There are also cost considerations and constraints, as well as regulatory constraints. But certainly all these challenges keep it interesting. And finally, keep your eye out for the follow-up project, which is ACRP 10-32. This project will provide additional guidance for airports to support the adoption of AGVT. And this wraps up my presentation today. I appreciate the opportunity to talk with you all about automated vehicles in the airside environment, and I'd be happy to take questions at the end, or feel free to send me an email if you'd like. Thank you very much.